14 games left in the Valkyries' first WNBA season, and they sit at 500, 15-15 in the 8th spot. Now, last week, they lose twice to the Las Vegas Aces, and the Aces are a team that I don't think anybody wants to see right now. The humiliating loss against the Lynx, I think flipped a switch for them. And they're a very prideful team with a lot of championship pedigree that knows it's go time right now. It's the final stretch of the regular season, and they're making their push. And so we lose to them once getting blown out. And then the other game, they're one of the few teams, I think, in the W that can match the physicality and toughness of this Valkyries team. Now, the Sparks come into Chase Center Saturday night, just one game behind the Valkyrie for that 8th and final spot. They've won 8 of 9 games. They're playing really well. Rakia Jackson is taking the next step into becoming a star player. Cameron Brink is finally back from the knee injury, making somewhat of a homecoming, but she's not up to game speed yet. She's not up to game speed. And the Valkyries, listen, the Sparks can score with anybody. And they have, a lot of talent. They're one of the more talented teams, and they got a lot of pretty girls who want to score the ball, right? And that can only get you so far, I think, as far as like talent, finesse, and skill. Inevitably, when you get tired, when it gets physical, when you're chipped up, now toughness is the separator. And the Valkyrie and Sparks have played 4 times, and the Valkyries just out tough the Sparks, right? And that's what you saw again last night. They out executed them as well. Let's start with Veronica Burton. For the first time post All-Star break, what I saw was a confident 3-point shooter. I talk about it all the time, where there is such a huge difference between wanting the 3 and taking the 3. It's hard to make shots you don't really want to take, right? And she's been a reluctant 3-point shooter. Headed into the All-Star break, she got really confident. And it was like, okay, she's finally starting to believe in it. And then coming out of it, it wasn't really there. Last night, she hits 4 of them. But then more importantly, she put the clamps on Kelsey Plum. She put 1 of 9 and was just all up in her space. It looked like Kelsey just didn't want to play ball last night. And you got to credit Veronica for that, making that mindset or creating that mindset. But to be fair, Kelsey didn't have her typical motor and energy. And so that was a huge part of it. And I think the Sparks are asking her to do too much. When you look at the construction of this Sparks team, again, they're all scorers. Rakia, Hamby, Brink is the answer, right? But she's not ready yet to anchor their defense. But they don't have any perimeter defense. You can't ask Plum to guard the best player every night on the perimeter. And so we pick them apart with their soft defense. Veronica, she just completely outplays Plum, right? And that's huge. Her confidence from 3, figuring out how to turn the corner, and we just executed on both ends very well. Part of that was, again, the Sparks' soft defense. The scoring's only going to get you so far, especially in the W, right? And they've got plenty of firepower. I don't know if they have enough role players, enough players willing to do the dirty work, right? Again, Rakia, Hamby, Plum, you're asking too much of her, and Brink could be the answer to that. Can she get up to game speed and get confident in that knee come playoff time? But it may not matter against us, because now we have the tiebreaker and we've got 2 games up on the Sparks team. The other little bit of storylines is, I think, when we look at the rotation, Kyla Charles signs her second 7-day contract, and she's playing over Leticia Amihir and Kate Martin, who DNP'd last night. And Chechi is such a bucket, man. Chechi, in a lot of ways, to me, is kind of like just a better version, a more polished version of Kate Martin. She's like 28 years old. She's got more experience internationally and in the W, and she's just further along. But she kind of provides the same shot making, just more efficiently, better, less lapses defensively, right? And Amihir, she may be matchup based, right? When you need some extra athleticism or you want to space the floor. But I think that's the difference with Charles, where she can shoot that 3. They're both very good defenders. Amihir is clearly the better rebounder, is like more of a true big, and Charles as a wing. But the ability to space the floor and switch defensively, guard multiple positions, it looks like I think they're going to keep, not only extend her contract through the rest of the season, but it looks like she's going to be in the rotation. Carla Late is starting to figure it out offensively. She hit a big mid-ranger. She puts so much pressure on you downhill as far as like, she's probably got a top 3 first step in this league, right? You got Mitchell in Indiana. I'm trying to think. There are a couple of them. What's Canada and Atlanta and young Carla Late. There's a couple elite first steps, but we'll see how it goes. You look at this upcoming stretch of games here as we sit at 15-15. You've got Connecticut, you've got Washington, and you've got Chicago. Can they jump out of the 8th spot? Because let's be real, that 8th spot is essentially going to the slaughterhouse in Minnesota. I don't think anyone, I know the Liberty are the champs, the defending champs. I think everyone would, at this point right now, much rather play the Liberty in the playoffs than the Lynx. The Lynx have more to prove. I think they're a more connected, deeper team at this point, even though Fee is out currently. But can we climb up out of that 8th spot? We've got the tiebreaker with the Sparks, right? That's huge as a 3-1 series. The Washington Mystic, the youngest team in the league, they made a trade at the deadline, trading Sykes to Seattle, right? Now, Alicia Clark's a great vet. I think it long-term, big picture, it makes sense for the Mystic. You bring in a veteran shooter and a presence in the locker room, but it may hurt their playoff chances this season. I'm not sure they care too much about that. They want to continue to nurture Cintron and Iriafin, right? And so they make that move and trade Sykes out of there. Do they fall out of the race for the 8th spot? I'm not sure how that goes, but it in turn boosts Seattle, who were trying to catch at the 7th spot with Sykes. They get some more perimeter offense, right? They struggled to score from the perimeter spot, right? Diggins has her moments, but they're very paint reliant on Ngumbake and Gabby Williams can make shots, right? But it was just what the doctor ordered, I think, for Seattle. So we'll see how they do. You got the Sparks Seattle tonight. Maybe LA can bounce back and help us here by beating Seattle. I don't think so. The way they looked last night, I bet you the Sparks get their teeth kicked in today against Seattle. I don't know if they're playing right now. But yeah, man, this is the key playoff push with 14 games to go. And settling into a rotation, the French connection continuing to grow offensively, and then Burton is the key. Veronica Burton is the key. Look, she doesn't have to hit 4 threes every game. She just has to shoot it confidently every night. We know what she's going to bring defensively, continue to turn the corner, and just being a confident, aggressive offensive player. And I think that goes a long way in helping our offense. We got the shot making, and Chechi Janelle continues to show playmaking ability. And yeah, man, I don't think right now it's the question of making the playoffs. It's what seed. Can we avoid the Minnesota Lynx in the first round? And I think this week against the bottom half of the league could go a long way. It needs to be a 3-0 week. But you can check out my breakdowns. I'm covering every one of these Valkyrie games. It's a great way to support the channel on the Patreon. I'll put the link in the description. I know, the pacing of some of these games, the time of some of these games, people don't want to watch them, but I encourage y'all to start following at least what's going on, because when you're ready to jump in and watch this team that's going to be contending for a title in the next few years, yes, I'm saying that already. I've learned enough about the league and how it operates and what's going on. The Valkyries are going to be perennial championship contenders moving forward. And starting next, I'm not saying this year, but it's going to happen way sooner than you would think. And so get familiar now. As always, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.